I admit, I like listening to the whole main intro music and stuff. I always do that. Anyways, greetings, creatures and humans alike. I am MagiQDog, and tonight we shall be learning about. Let's see, scribble, 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 scribble. What? Ah, there we go. Scribble, scribble, scribble. We'll be learning about the Bunyip. By the way, hey Dark Choker. Hey Wade Dog, how you doing this fine night? Let's see. Let me pull up my information on my grimoire and stuff. Let's see. Let me find it real quick. Let's see. Scribbling through the pages. Yada yada yada. Oh, yeah. You haven't seen my new form yet, have you? I gotta say, it looks quite great with my good looks and my personalities. Anyways, class, let's get started with the Bunyip, shall we? The Bunyip is a large semi-aquatic creature that lives in the wetlands, swamps, lakes, and watering holes in the wild bush of Australia. Bunyip's appearances is an interesting concept considering the fact that the appearance of the Bunyip aren't truly known. There have been various descriptions and appearances of the Bunyip. These appearances can range to a large shaggy animal with a cat-like head and with large fangs to an alien-looking creature with starfish-like appendages. Some say it got a horse tail, walrus-like tusk, crocodile head, and a duck bill. Others say that they look like emus with long necks. From scales to horns to tentacles, and even having humanoid-like appearances. The Bunyip seems to have no true detail to them. The only known accurate detail of the Bunyip is that it's aquatic in nature and resides in lakes, rivers, waterholes, swamps, or any other body of waters. Of course, the uncanny appearances of Bunyips may be accounted for the fact that the Aboriginal myth is considered a shapeshifter, so perhaps they have a true appearance that they do not want anyone to know, or no true appearance whatsoever. Now then, speaking of the Aboriginals, the Bunyips are feared creatures. Their names literally mean devil or evil spirit, as the Aboriginals believed them to be demons or water spirits of some kind. They are nocturnal, amphibious creatures that live in any bodies of water in the outback, where in some accounts they are said to target humans and drown them to eat. Older mothers protecting their child can create floods to attack anyone that poses a threat. They also seem to make loud, roaring sounds within these areas, letting people know they are living in the waterways. In other tribes, however, they can be seen as protectors and protect their homes and nature itself from any that dares to disrespect them. The Bunyip seems to appear in the stories of the Dreamtime as a water spirit. According to one legend, Bunyip was originally a man that committed the greatest crime against the rainbow serpent, which was eating his totem animal. So the spirit Biame transformed him into a carnivorous water spirit where he would lure in and devour people and their livestock. For the most part, though, they seem to be just large, aquatic, animalistic beasts that do attack people time to time. Now, if you think that the Bunyips are just large, aquatic animals with not much magical powers, then, my dear class, you are wrong. Because they are actually quite powerful creatures that the Aboriginals are afraid of. As a large aquatic creature, it is a tanky-built being with enhanced physical abilities adapted for the water, including enhanced swimming, strength, underwater speed, and agility, and durability. It also got a powerful bite that can crush humans in their jaws. And they are quite adaptable as they live in any Australian body of water. As water spirits, they can control their watering homes as they transform the waters from crystal clear and healthy waters to murky and dark depths. They can also create floods and use the waters to attack people. They are also believed to be shapeshifters, capable of having any shape which can explain their appearance's variety. Let's see. Sorry, I lost track. They also have other terrifying abilities that they use to hunt down humans. For example, their roars can shake up people to the point of paralyzing them at close distance. Camouflage abilities in the water to allow them to get close to people. And they can even hypnotize people to even control them and bring them to the water for an easy snack. Some say they can even talk to humans to persuade them to come to the water before attacking. Bunyips are Well, I messed that up. Take two. Bunyips are terrifying creatures, yet they do have weaknesses that one can use to keep them safe. The Aboriginals can defend themselves by using spears made of the golden wattle trees, which is considered deadly to bunyips. There's also the fact that simply staying away from the waters will protect you too, as they always stay in their watery homes. And of course, sunlight is also said to be a weakness to the bunyips, since they are nocturnal and could dry up easily. Now, the bunyips may be a being that is told in the Dreamtime in Australia, but the bunyip is also researched and studied in the world of cryptozoology. The bunyip is not just a legendary mythical creature, but has also entered into the realms of cryptids too. This is mainly due back to the 19th century when European settlers encountered the Australian Aboriginals and learned about the bunyip's existence. After learning the stories, sightings and encounters began to emerge, and even bones and skulls of the large unknown animals began to emerge. The sightings, stories, and the skulls and bones piqued the interest of settlers and explorers. However, the bones and skulls are discovered to be that of the prehistoric, and this is where my pronunciation comes into play. Well, mispronunciation. Let's see. The Nototheriums and the Diplodons. Soon the bunyips fall into the catalog of other mythical creatures with no scientific backing. But the bunyips spark intrigue within cryptozoology thanks to the rich history of stories from all across Australian Aboriginals, the fossil bones of the prehistoric animals, and even the unique landscape itself. Let's see. There are debates on what the bunyip is, but these are the most common theories about it. One is that it is an undiscovered aquatic predator that lives deep in the watering areas. Another theory is misidentification. There are often elephant seals, leopard seals, and cassowaries that might have been mistaken for the bunyip since they are said to be nocturnal creatures. So, nighttime, no good eyesight. Yeah. But there is a third theory that the bunyip is a surviving Diplodon or another prehistoric marsupial that didn't went extinct and instead adapted and evolved to a life of water and that it hasn't been discovered yet. Whatever the case, cryptozoologists believe that a large undiscovered... Take two. Cryptozoologists believe that a large undiscovered animal could exist in the wilds of Australia. Many areas of Australia are still undiscovered and unexplored, including much of the outback itself. Because of this, the possibility of a larger aquatic beast isn't so far-fetched. As I mentioned a bit ago, the story of the bunyip was told to European settlers by the Australian Aboriginals when the two groups encounter each other. As the settlers start to build their towns and take in the lands, and even had some conflict with the Aboriginals, sightings, bone findings, and encounters of the bunyip started to rise. There are a few examples that stand out in history. The first is that the earliest documented encounter is that of the two explorers Hamilton Humes and James Mayhab. In 1818, the two discovered large bones of a large animal which they described like that of a hippo near Lake Bathurst in South New Wales. They didn't learn of the bunyip till probably later on and believed the bones to be that of an unknown large animal. Oh yeah, they're all pretty scary. Another account came from the daily newspaper, the Geelong, oh man, I know this word, but I'm having a brain fart. The Geelong Advertiser, at least, Advertiser. Sorry, brain fart here. Anyways, this newspaper, dated back in July of 1845, they did a news article of the bunyip in great detail. It was also here that the bunyip was first used as a word. Now, in 1857, a newspaper reported of Edwin Stockwell talking about his encounter. According to his account, he encountered 6 of these creatures, all while on a boat by himself as the creatures were swimming around him. He described them as black seal-like animals with a long neck attached to a dog-like head and having a back sack on the neck like that of a pelican. He saw the smallest one being about 5 feet and the biggest one being 15 feet with a bullock-sized head. He learned of the bunyip and being on a small boat with only a single-barrel shotgun, which didn't have much ammunition, he decided to let the creatures pass by him as they were going about the current, like going against the current at 7 miles per hour. Yeah, you talk about being terrified of stuff. Even I, as an adventurer and stuff, would not want to be in the lake surrounded by a bunch of these creatures. Anyways, wait, where was I? Oh, here it is. He later drew a sketch of the creatures where it was shown to a local Aboriginal tribe, and they said to him that it was the Bunyip's brother. And I'm not saying like an actual brother or anything. They most likely mean like a relative of the original spirit. Kind of like a descendant in a sense. Anyway, the point I'm saying is that his account and stuff kind of gave a rise in the Bunyip popularity and stuff. And speaking of which, there are also other accounts of the Bunyips, which help spread the legends all across and gain notoriety. But those 3 that I mentioned are like really popular ones. And speaking of popularity, let me catch my breath real quick. Whew. The Bunyip was told from across Australia by the Aboriginals dated back from the Dreamtime. Then they were told to the European settlers, who in turn spread the legend of the Bunyip across the world. Now the Bunyip stories are spoken of in modern media and pop cultures as the creatures are spoken in different forms of media as well. In movies, there is the Australian horror movie Bunyip, where the beasts attack a group of hiking city folks. And another Australian horror movie, Red Billabong, where the Bunyip stalk 2 brothers who discovered their family's dark secret. There's also a titan named Bunyip that was shown on a monitor in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And back in the 50s and 60s, there was a puppet show called Birdie the Bunyip Show, with the main puppet being a rabbit-like bunyip. By the way, I saw a picture of it and it actually looks super creepy. Let's see. By the way, the cartoon Secret Saturdays features the bunyip, but they were more like small and cute gremlin-like creatures. In video games, you have Bunyip as a docile creature in Sonic the Hedgehog, the bird-like race Bunyips, including the elder Nadugili in Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and you can catch the walrus-like Bunyips in the fishing game Creatures of the Deep. Also in Fate Grand Order Sea Monsters Crisis, the Bunyip appears as a phantasmal sea monster that appears like a cross between a fish and a dog. Even RuneScape's got the Bunyip as a familiar. For books, the children's book The Bunyip of Berkeley's Creek features the Bunyip as he asks other animals what his kind looks like. There's even a statue of the Bunyip character in Melbourne. They're also... Hang on, I'm trying to collect my train of thought here. Anyways, they also appear in the fantasy novel Tons of Serpents by Naomi Novik, where they are related to dragons living in the outback, which is an interesting take on the Bunyip. But basically, there are also a few other films, books, and games that feature the Bunyip that I haven't even talked about yet. Turns out whenever I was doing my research about Bunyips and modern media and stuff, turns out there's a lot more than what I thought there were, so good for the Bunyips. But anyways, to kind of wrap this all up, Bunyips as a whole are fierce and awe-inspiring as they are mysterious and mystical. From being a water spirit that exists during the Dreamtime, to a large aquatic beast with supernatural powers, and even being a cryptid thought as an unknown or extinct animal. Whatever the case may be, these many different form creatures have spread fear, but also spread diligence of nature across the outback. So be careful if you need to get a drink or take a dip in the down under of Australia, unless you want to get dragged down to the murky depths. And with that, that concludes the Bunyip. So what do you think of these creatures? Do you think they need to decide on the form? Do you think that you don't want to encounter one in the waters? Would you like to actually go and find one yourself? Or would you like to see that creepy puppet thing that I mentioned about with Birdie the Bunyip? Leave me in the comment section whenever I get this uploaded on my YouTube channel. Now then, as for the next creature, which I'm gonna have to look up on my thumbnails because I kind of forgot. Oh! Oh, yeah, the next one's gonna be very interesting, and we're gonna have a lot of talk about it. And to give y'all a hint of what it is, think of the most terrifying sea monster that you can think of in world mythologies as a whole. That's also got tentacles. Yeah, that all should clue you in enough. So yeah, that's going to be an exciting creature of the week that I'm going to be talking about next time. And truth be told, I got to figure out a date of when I'm going to talk about that thing, because I'm going to have to spend the next few days gathering all my evidence, well, gathering all my information on it. That's what I meant to say, not evidence. Evidence. I'm going to show y'all the mythical creatures are real, gosh darn it. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this Creature of the Week stream. As for my next streams and stuff, unfortunately I won't have time to do anything else tonight like I thought I would yesterday. Mainly because I'm gonna have to get ready and kind of go out and support a friend of mine who's going through a rough time. I'm not gonna say about what's going on and stuff as it might be too personal, but I'm gonna be there for him nonetheless. But I will try to do it tomorrow night at least, where I'm gonna try to play the Avatar game. I gotta try to finish that one up. But anyways, that's pretty much it for now. So with all that out of the way, thank you guys for coming on this fantastic Creature of the Week stream. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did as we got to learn about the Bunyip and how many different forms they have. And if you wish to see more of these, just check me out on my Twitch page. Also check me out on Twitter and YouTube as well. And also there's Patreon too, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to fix it up and try to get some things situated, because unfortunately some things backfired on that, and I gotta fix that whole situation. So with that, I bid this show adieu and this class adjourn. So see you guys. So long. Bye bye. Okay, bye.